This is easily one of the best builds in the final shape and probably the build that I will be taking into the raid. So I'm going to give you a breakdown of everything I'm using, why I'm using it, and why this build is so unbelievably powerful. Obviously we can use our transcendence here, and you can see we're able to spam a ton of abilities, but that's pretty typical with any sort of transcendence build, but this one is way crazier than that. Okay, obviously I throw my nades, throw my melees, and the fun begins to end a little bit once you finally run out of your transcendence. Then you have to get back to recharging those bars, and this build is easily one of the best at charging it back up really quickly. So you can see there I'm completely out. Now what I'm going to do is use my super, and I can swap to tessellation now, and I get infinite tessellation shots due to new super. See there, I get those supercharged, super powerful shots, and I get as many as my heart desires. I'll sit here and shoot them. These ads, I can shoot them anywhere I want. Boom, blow up these ads. Keep going. Oh gosh, bludgers are that big. Now I'm just shooting them like fun. Now my super has completely ran out, but the fun still isn't over because now I can spam abilities like crazy and fill my bar up so that way I can get my transcendence back. Now the ad density in this location isn't very good, but if the ad density was better, then I would obviously be able to fill up those transcendent bars a little more faster and a little more efficiently than that. So keep that in mind, but I think that overall you can see what we're trying to do, what we were able to accomplish using this build. So now I'm going to give you a complete breakdown of everything we're utilizing with this and why this is so good. So we're using obviously Prismatic here. We're using the super Song of Flame. Now this is a lot of fun. Obviously you pop your super and you're able to throw a ton of those birds that go out and seek things. And you're able to also hit a ton of melees as well. Now in our situation, we're not really using our super. Instead, we're just focusing on using the grenade from that and the infinite grenades constantly reproc our tessellation. Every time you get that super powerful shot from this weapon right here, it actually does like the equivalent of like an Izanagi's burden shot. And we've got the catalyst that just came out, and this thing makes it so that it actually debuffs when you're using a void grenade. So tessellation paired with Prismatic, Song of Flame, and make sure you have vortex grenade. That's going to be the gameplay loop that we're utilizing there, but that's not the only gameplay loop that we're utilizing. Let's go into the next part. We have Facet of Protection, which is going to give us damage resistance when we're surrounded by enemies, which is obviously going to happen quite a bit, especially in the new raid. So we wanted to stay alive, so we'll be using this. This is going to be essential to most builds. Next up, we have Facet of Purpose, which is really powerful, especially if you're using a strand or stasis. That way you can get frost armor or woven mail. But in this situation, we have a solar subclass, so we're getting restoration just by walking over an orb of power. It's going to be really important that you make lots of orbs and your teammates make lots of orbs. That way you can keep that restoration timer up. And on top of that, we won't only get restoration, you'll also get radiant based on the season's artifact with radiant orbs. So keep that in mind. I'm making orbs from a variety of sources, but mostly right here with my helmet mod, I got a strand siphon on, and obviously the super kills will also make orbs as well. So we got Strand Siphon making lots of orbs, hopefully teammates making orbs for you as well. Now moving on to the next fragment, we have Facet of Awakening. This is going to be rapidly defeating targets with light or darkness damage, or super final blows generates an elemental pickup of the matching type. So if you kill someone with something solar, you're making those fire sprites everywhere, and you'll be able to pick up that type, and that will grant you more grenade energy. And so all those fire sprites equals even more grenades when you come out of that. The grenade spam just seemingly never ends with this build, especially if you actually utilize it right. And like I said before, the ad density needs to be there. I'm just patrolling around giving you a brief demonstration, but if the ads were condensed, there would be just ridiculous abilities, just endless abilities everywhere. And then the next part synergizes really well, which is Facet of Honor synergizes really well with Facet of Awakening. Is collecting the elemental pickup or destroying a tangle, which we're going to make a ton of, grants transcendence energy of the same type. So you'll be making a ton of those we have right here. The fire sprites, the void breaches, and tangles are going to be made a ton with this particular build. You'll be able to destroy them and pick them up, and that will give you a ton of ability energy. And then we have our transcendence energy rather. And then we have Facet of Balance, which is you get light energy or you get melee energy from damaging enemies with light damage, and when you do damage with darkness, you get grenade energy, as you can see there. And so you can basically loop all of your abilities really effortlessly and really nice. We have Feed the Void on, which I think is an essential aspect, so that way we can get Devour. This is going to also feed our grenades even more and give us that constant health regeneration, which is really nice. and is really good. We can get our ability kills with our grenade, the arcane needle, whichever way you like, is totally fine. And then lastly, we have Weaver's Call, which we're purposely using with Phoenix Dive. This has the shortest cooldown of any of the class abilities. We can hit Phoenix Dive and immediately proc Weaver's Call. I'll demonstrate some of this now so you can see what we're doing with this. And then we'll go over the weapons. We'll go over some of the armor mods that we're utilizing with this build. So first things first, don't have to explain or show too much, but we throw the grenade there, we get that kill, and then we're going to have our Devour procced. We can keep our Devour timer up just by getting kills on these enemies. This is going to get our grenade energy back really fast. As you can see there, I basically already have my grenade back in its entirety. So now I can use my grenade for various other purposes. If I want to, get a supercharged shot right here and take out this blighted ogre here, I can do so. It hits him pretty hard there, and we can finish him off with the special ammo sidearm. He's actually a pretty tough target too, so to be able to melt him solo like that is not too bad. And then of course, when I do pop my class ability, I'll be having these threadlings go out and chase these hive over here. Boom, just like that. Go ahead and eat them up. And now one thing that's really nice, let me see if I can find a group of enemies over here. One thing that's really nice is the, oh, there's only just one here. If I find a group of enemies over here around the corner, you'll see that I can actually use the artifact mod and create basically like a Warmind cell from these tangles. When they explode, I mean, the radius is absolutely insane here. So I'll go ahead and make one right here, and I'm trying to get this wizard over in this direction. I'll make one right here, and when I shoot this thing, any of these ads that are nearby are about to get absolutely blasted. As you can see there, that acolyte that was all the way over there, one hit killed. So really, really powerful stuff that we're doing here with this build. As you can see here, this is not a light build to use at all. So let's go ahead and just fall to our death there. That way we can explain everything without getting shot by the enemies. So we have the call on and we have tessellation. We purposely have double special on, and we're able to pull this off due to some of the armor mods that we'll get to in a moment. Lead from gold makes it so that way when we pick up power ammo, we get special ammo, which is nice and helps alleviate the issues of double special ammo. Not entirely necessary. You could use a different strand weapon if you want. You could use an auto rifle, Rufus's Fury. You can use the Brand scout rifle from Crota's End if you really want to use something else like a primary ammo weapon. I know a lot of people like those, but the reason why I use a special ammo sidearm is because this thing chunks majors. Best for measures is really good here. You could also use one for all, and you could use some other stuff. I got mountaintop here just in case I run out of ammo. I got a midnight coup. And tessellation synergizes so well with this super right here, Song of Flame, and with the vortex grenade that I really like that. And I'll probably use that for boss damage. Alternatively though, you could use something else, like you could just throw on a buried bloodline. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with the dead kindness. And I am talking about double special ammo sidearms. They're that good. Nothing wrong with rocking 2 of those. And then on our sword here, we got Wolfpack rounds, which is really nice. And you can buff that sword damage, might be essential in the raid. I have my Falling Guillotine on here with Frenzy and Surrounded. And alternatively, I could use a Commemoration. I got this Eager sword here. If we have to rocket damage the Witness in any point encounter, we got our Apex Predator, Galhorn. We got Edge Transit for burst DPS and Whisper of the Worm for sustained DPS. Okay, we're not going to go too much into our weapons though. I just wanted to show off some of the weapons and why I was able to pull off those things. And the mods that we're using was Threaded Blast. That's the one where it creates a tangle. You shoot it with the strand weapon, it explodes. It's massive. Highly recommend that. And then we have Radiant Orbs. From picking those orbs, we can become Radiant, and we also get Restoration due to our subclass Fragment. And then the other 2 mods I would have on if I could unlock them would be Shield Crush and Transference. Oh gosh, words are hard. Shield Crush and Transference. And if I was doing boss damage, we would do Expanding Abyss and Argent Blade, maybe swapping over based on what type of encounter we're taking on in the Witness raid. On the helmet, we're going to have Strand Siphon, so that way when we get those strand kills, we get those orbs, pick them up. Got Heavy Ammo Finder, Heavy Ammo Scout to make ammo for our teammates. If you're finding yourself really low in special ammo, you could use Special Ammo Finder and Special Ammo Scout if you really want. Or you could use any other combination, whatever you feel like you're running out of the most. On the gauntlet here, we have a Strand Loader for the sidearm. We have Impact Induction and Focusing Strike. Not entirely necessary, but just a little bit more ability energy. We're already spamming it enough, but might as well add a little more icing on the cake there. For the resistance, I just have Rainbow Resist on as default, and the mods there, as you can see. For the boots, we're going with a Scavenger. This helps alleviate the issue of double special. And then we have a Void Weapon Surge. Again, you could just go double surges though if you want to use a primary ammo strand weapon for this build. And then on the class item here, we're going to have Time Dilation. I love Proximity Ward for hitting those finishers, giving me that overshield. And then we have Special Finisher. That way when I hit the Special Finisher, I stay alive with Proximity Ward and we're able to make ourselves a ton of special ammo. That way we don't feel like we're running out all the time when using these two weapons in tandem. Time dilation is just a really nice option. That way I can keep my surges up whenever it comes to damaging a boss or damaging any enemy, really. It's just time dilation is one I kind of keep on all the time. For stat distribution, of course, 100 resilience is going to be essential. 100 discipline is always really nice. And then we'll go with as much recovery and maybe even some melee energy. So that way we can spam our arcane needles and keep our prismatic super up as much as possible, or our transcendence up as much as possible rather, and have super fun using transcendence with our super, and then followed up with the apotheosis veil, which is after your super ends, you temporarily gain increased melee and grenade regen. So that just feeds right back into your transcendence all over again, because all of those kills feed right back into it. So if you actually had really serious ad density, you'd see some really cool gameplay from this. So let me know your thoughts about this build down in the comments below. Feel free to take any of the mods, use them all up, use this build. Let me know if you make any improvements to it down in the comments. This is obviously just day 2 of the final shape, but I wanted to make you a sort of rushed guide so that way you can jump in and use the fun stuff that I've been using and experience the fun of this build. And let me know your thoughts about it down in the comments. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed, smash the like button. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Later.